Good evening, everyone. Today, I want to talk about a moment we've all faced when we realize it's time to walk away, not with a loud proclamation, not with drama, but silently with grace. Self-worth is the foundation of everything we do in life. It shapes the way we see ourselves, the way we allow others to treat us, and the choices we make. When you truly understand your value, you no longer feel the need to settle for less than you deserve. It's a quiet confidence, a deep knowing that you are enough just as you are without needing validation from the outside world. But with that understanding comes the responsibility of protecting your energy and peace. This is where boundaries come into play. Boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines for how we wish to be treated. They are expressions of self-respect, a way of communicating to others that we have standards for the way we live our lives and how we allow ourselves to be treated. Boundaries are essential to maintaining our self-worth because they define what we will and won't tolerate. They protect our emotional, mental, and physical space. It's easy to give away pieces of yourself when you don't have boundaries in place. People may take more than they give, and over time, this imbalance can leave you feeling drained, resentful, and unappreciated. When we lack boundaries, we often find ourselves in situations where we are overextended, giving more than we can afford to, whether emotionally, mentally, or physically. It's easy to lose yourself in relationships or environments that constantly demand more than you can offer. This is why establishing boundaries is an act of self-love. Knowing your worth also means understanding that it's okay to say no, no to the things that drain you, no to the people who take advantage, no to situations that compromise your well-being. Saying no isn't a rejection of others, it's a declaration that you're choosing yourself. You're making the decision to prioritize your peace, your happiness, and your growth. It's not selfish, it's necessary. When you set boundaries, you're teaching people how to treat you. You're telling the world, this is who I am and this is what I deserve. And sometimes the hardest part about setting boundaries is enforcing them, especially when people don't like it. But here's the truth, those who genuinely respect and care about you will honor your boundaries, while those who don't are showing you that they may not be worth the space in your life. There's power in knowing your worth. When you hold onto that power, you stop seeking approval from others. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone. You recognize that your value doesn't decrease just because someone else doesn't see it. You stop chasing after people who don't appreciate you and start attracting those who do. In a world that often asks us to fit in, blend in, or stay silent, holding on to your self-worth and maintaining your boundaries can feel like an act of defiance. But it's also the greatest gift you can give yourself. By understanding your worth and setting boundaries, you create space for growth, peace, and relationships that truly honor who you are. A graceful exit is about knowing when it's time to walk away from a situation, a relationship, or an environment that no longer serves you. It's an act of self-respect and awareness, recognizing that staying any longer would only cause harm to yourself or others. It doesn't involve bitterness, resentment, or anger. Instead, it's rooted in a deep understanding that not all situations are meant to last forever, and leaving with grace is a way to preserve your dignity. When you make a graceful exit, you're choosing to leave without causing disruption or conflict. It's not about making a statement or proving a point. It's about recognizing that you've reached the end of your journey in a particular space, and it's time to move on. Walking away quietly, without the need for dramatic gestures or final words, can be the most powerful thing you can do. It allows you to maintain your integrity even when the circumstances are challenging. A graceful exit means letting go without the need for validation. It's about releasing the need to be understood by others and trusting that your decision to leave is enough. Often we feel the urge to explain ourselves, to make sure others see our perspective before we go. But the truth is, a graceful exit is less about how others see you and more about how you see yourself. It's trusting your own intuition and knowing that your peace of mind is more valuable than being right or having the last word. It also involves leaving without malice or ill will. When you exit gracefully, you're not burning bridges or seeking revenge. You're simply stepping away with the understanding that you've done all you can in that space, and it's time for a new chapter. Even if the situation has caused pain or frustration, leaving gracefully means choosing to take the high road, refusing to let negativity define your departure. A graceful exit is also about acknowledging the growth that comes with leaving. Sometimes the most profound personal growth happens when you step away from something that no longer aligns with who you are or where you're headed. By leaving gracefully, you give yourself the opportunity to reflect on what you've learned and how you've changed without getting caught up in the emotions of the moment. It's not always easy to exit gracefully, especially when emotions are involved. There may be moments of doubt or fear, wondering if you're making the right choice. But a graceful exit is about trusting the process, knowing that sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is leave with your head held high, without the need for confrontation or closure from others. Leaving gracefully is an act of strength. It's about having the courage to step away when things no longer align with your values, your goals, or your well-being. It's understanding that sometimes the best way to honor yourself is by quietly moving on, knowing that your decision to leave is enough. Growth through silence is a powerful and transformative process. In a world that often values noise, action, and constant communication, silence can be misunderstood as inaction or weakness. However, silence is where some of the deepest growth happens. It provides the space to reflect, heal, and evolve without the distractions of external pressures or the need to respond to the expectations of others. In silence, we gain clarity. When we step away from the noise of daily life and the constant influx of opinions and demands, we create an opportunity to hear our own thoughts. This space allows us to connect with our inner voice, to understand what we truly feel and believe without the influence of outside forces. This clarity is essential for personal growth, as it gives us the chance to reflect on our experiences, learn from them, and decide how we want to move forward. Silence also fosters introspection. It allows us to dig deep within ourselves, to confront the emotions and thoughts we might otherwise push aside. In these quiet moments, we can face the parts of ourselves that we may have neglected or ignored. It's in this space that healing begins. Without the pressure to speak or act, we can sit with our emotions, process them, and begin to understand them on a deeper level. This type of self-awareness is essential for growth, as it helps us identify the areas where we need to change, heal, or evolve. In silence, we learn patience. Growth is not an overnight process, and sometimes the most meaningful changes happen slowly. When we allow ourselves to sit in silence, we embrace the understanding that growth takes time. It's not about immediate results or quick fixes. Silence teaches us to be patient with ourselves, to understand that the journey toward personal transformation is ongoing, and that each quiet moment of reflection brings us closer to the person we are becoming. Moreover, silence creates space for creativity and inspiration. When we allow ourselves to be still, new ideas and insights can emerge. Without the constant chatter of the outside world, our minds are free to wander, explore, and imagine. This creative energy is essential for growth, as it opens up new possibilities and paths that we might not have considered otherwise. In silence, we can reimagine our lives, set new goals, and think of innovative ways to overcome the challenges we face. Silence also strengthens resilience. In the quiet, we learn how to sit with discomfort, how to manage our emotions without external validation or reassurance. This builds inner strength, teaching us how to rely on ourselves for comfort and guidance. It's in these silent moments that we develop the resilience to face life's challenges with grace and calm, knowing that we have the inner resources to navigate whatever comes our way. In the stillness of silence, we also learn the value of listening, not just to others, but to ourselves. Silence allows us to hear the subtle truths that might get drowned out in the chaos of everyday life. It gives us the chance to really listen to our intuition, to understand the messages that our body and mind are sending us. This kind of deep listening is crucial for growth because it helps us make decisions that are in alignment with our true selves rather than what we think we should be doing based on external pressures. Finally, silence helps us detach from the need for external validation. In a world that often encourages us to constantly share our thoughts, opinions, and achievements, silence is a radical act of self-trust. It teaches us that we don't always need to explain ourselves or seek approval from others. We can grow quietly without needing to broadcast every step of the journey. This detachment from external validation allows us to focus on what truly matters: our own growth and well-being. In these silent moments, we find the space to evolve at our own pace, on our own terms, without the noise of the world dictating who we should be or how we should grow. Energy preservation is about recognizing the finite nature of our emotional, mental, and physical resources and making conscious choices about how and where we expend them. In a world that often demands more from us than we can comfortably give, learning to protect and conserve our energy is essential for maintaining balance, well-being, and personal growth. At its core, energy preservation begins with awareness. We must become attuned to how certain people, situations, and environments affect us. Some relationships are energizing, they lift us up, inspire us, and leave us feeling fulfilled. Others, however, can drain us, depleting our reserves without us even realizing it. This can happen in subtle ways, like through constant negative interactions, unrealistic expectations, or the pressure to conform to roles or behaviors that don't align with who we truly are. Recognizing where our energy is being depleted is the first step toward preservation. It requires us to pay attention to how we feel after spending time in different settings or with different individuals. Do we feel uplifted or exhausted, energized or emotionally drained? Once we start identifying the areas of our life that drain us, we can begin to set boundaries to protect our energy. Setting boundaries is a critical component of energy preservation. When we establish clear limits on how much time, effort, or emotion we are willing to invest in a given situation, we are taking responsibility for our own well-being. This isn't about shutting people out or avoiding challenges, it's about being mindful of what we need to thrive. By setting boundaries, we protect our energy from being depleted by unnecessary drama, toxic relationships, or overwhelming demands. This allows us to invest our energy in things that truly matter to us. Preserving energy also involves knowing when to say no. Society often conditions us to believe that we need to say yes to every opportunity, every request and every invitation. But constantly saying yes can leave us overextended with little energy left for ourselves. Learning to say no is an act of self-preservation. It's recognizing that your time and energy are valuable and that you don't need to spread yourself thin to prove your worth. Saying no to things that drain you creates space for the things that nourish and replenish your spirit. Another aspect of energy preservation is managing our emotional reactions to situations that are outside of our control. Life will always bring challenges and uncertainties, but not every situation requires our full emotional involvement. By practicing detachment and learning to let go of things that we cannot change, we conserve our emotional energy. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent, but rather choosing where and when to invest our emotional resources. It's about acknowledging that some battles are not worth fighting and that some issues will resolve themselves without our intervention. Physical energy preservation is just as important. Our bodies need rest and care to function at their best, yet in our fast-paced world, we often push ourselves beyond our limits. We sacrifice sleep, neglect self-care, and overwork ourselves, believing that productivity is the ultimate measure of success. However, when we constantly push ourselves without taking the time to rest and recharge, we risk burnout. Preserving physical energy means listening to our bodies, taking breaks when needed, and prioritizing activities that promote health and well-being. This might include getting enough sleep, eating nourishing food, staying physically active, and allowing ourselves moments of stillness and relaxation. Mental energy preservation is about managing our thoughts and focusing on what truly matters. Our minds can easily become cluttered with worries, overthinking, and constant mental chatter, which can drain our energy without us even realizing it. By practicing mindfulness and learning to quiet the mind, we can conserve mental energy. This might involve focusing on the present moment, letting go of unnecessary worries about the future, or stopping ourselves from ruminating on past events. When we control where we direct our mental energy, we free up space for creativity, problem solving, and growth. In addition, energy preservation involves being selective about the commitments we make. We often take on too much, either out of a desire to please others or because we feel obligated to. But overcommitting can stretch our resources thin, leaving us feeling stressed and overwhelmed. Being intentional about where we invest our time and energy helps ensure that we have enough left for the things that truly matter to us. It's about quality over quantity, focusing on fewer commitments, but giving them our full attention and energy. Ultimately, energy preservation is about being mindful of how we distribute our energy across different areas of our lives. It's about making choices that align with our values and our goals, and recognizing that we don't have to give our energy to everything and everyone that demands it. By preserving our energy, we create the capacity to live more fully with greater intention and purpose. We give ourselves the gift of balance, replenishing our reserves so that we can show up as our best selves, not only for others, but for ourselves as well. The phrase "actions speak louder than words" carries a profound truth about human behavior and communication. While words can be powerful, they are often fleeting, subject to interpretation, and can easily be manipulated. Actions, on the other hand, are tangible, visible expressions of our true intentions, beliefs, and commitments. They provide a clear and undeniable reflection of who we are and what we value. One of the most significant aspects of actions is their ability to demonstrate consistency. It's easy to make promises or say the right things in the moment, but what truly defines us are the choices we make and the actions we take over time. People can say they care about someone, but it's the consistent acts of kindness, support, and reliability that prove that care. Words might express love, but it's the day-to-day efforts, listening, being present, and showing up that solidify that love in a way words alone cannot. Actions provide clarity. Words, even with the best of intentions, can be misunderstood or taken lightly. They can create expectations, but when they aren't followed by meaningful action, they lose their credibility. A person can talk about their goals, aspirations, or how much they want to change, but without concrete steps toward those things, the words lose their weight. Taking action removes ambiguity, showing what someone truly believes or intends without the need for further explanation. In relationships, both personal and professional, actions are a crucial form of communication. They reveal priorities and intentions in a way that words often can't. Someone may claim they are committed to a project or a relationship, but if their actions consistently show neglect or disinterest, it becomes clear that their words don't align with reality. Trust is built not just on what people say, but on how they behave. Over time, people learn to trust those who consistently act in ways that demonstrate integrity, care, and responsibility. In situations of conflict or disagreement, actions often carry more weight than arguments or apologies. A person may apologize for a mistake or a wrong they've committed, but unless their future actions reflect genuine change or accountability, the apology remains empty. Change and growth are shown through action. If someone wants to repair a relationship or make amends, their behavior after the apology is what truly matters. The consistent effort to act differently, to show through action that they are committed to doing better, is what heals wounds and rebuilds trust. Actions also demonstrate courage. Often it is easier to speak about what should be done than to actually do it. Taking action requires stepping out of one's comfort zone, facing risks, and sometimes confronting fear. Whether it's standing up for what's right, pursuing a difficult goal, or making a tough decision, actions show the courage to take responsibility and make change happen. Words can be safe. They allow us to talk about what we would like to do without taking on the risk of failure. But taking action shows a willingness to be vulnerable and accountable. In leadership, actions are especially critical. Leaders set the tone not by what they say, but by what they do. Their actions create the culture, values, and expectations for those they lead. If a leader talks about the importance of integrity but behaves unethically, their words are rendered meaningless. On the other hand, a leader who consistently acts with fairness, honesty, and dedication inspires others to do the same. Leadership by example is far more impactful than leadership by decree. People are more likely to follow someone whose actions demonstrate the qualities they admire and respect. On a broader level, societal change is driven by collective action, not just by rhetoric. Movements for justice, equality, and progress are fueled by the actions of individuals who are willing to stand up, speak out, and take meaningful steps toward change. While speeches and declarations can ignite passion and awareness, it's the actions, whether through protests, advocacy, or policy changes, that bring about real, lasting transformation. Words may inspire, but actions create results. Furthermore, actions help us stay accountable to ourselves. It's easy to talk about self-improvement, to set goals, or to make plans, but without action, these intentions remain unfulfilled. Taking action, however small, moves us closer to our goals and keeps us grounded in reality. It's through actions that we see our potential unfold, that we learn from our successes and failures, and that we grow into the person we aspire to be. The act of doing, of moving forward, is where true progress happens. Even in silence, actions have the ability to communicate volumes. In moments where words might fail or be unnecessary, actions fill the gap. A gesture of kindness, a show of support, or a simple act of service can convey care and understanding more deeply than words ever could. There is a quiet strength in being able to communicate through actions, especially when they are rooted in authenticity and compassion. Ultimately, actions are the true test of character. While words can be a reflection of our intentions, actions prove whether those intentions are real. They demonstrate who we are when no one is watching, when there is no immediate reward, and when it's difficult to do the right thing. It is through our actions that we shape our reality, build our relationships, and leave a lasting impact on the world around us. Inner peace is a state of calm and contentment that comes from within, independent of external circumstances or the opinions of others. It is cultivated through self-awareness, self-acceptance, and a deep understanding of our own values and needs. In contrast, external validation relies on the approval, praise, or recognition from others to feel worthy or fulfilled. While external validation can offer temporary satisfaction, it is fleeting and often leaves us vulnerable to the shifting opinions and judgments of those around us. Choosing inner peace over external validation is a conscious decision to prioritize our own well-being and self-worth rather than constantly seeking the approval of others. It begins with understanding that true peace can only be found within ourselves. When we depend on external validation, we place our happiness and sense of self in the hands of others, making it unstable and conditional. This dependence can lead to a constant cycle of seeking affirmation, never feeling fully satisfied, and always needing more to feel secure. Inner peace, on the other hand, is rooted in self-confidence and self-love. It requires letting go of the need to prove ourselves to others or meet their expectations. It means understanding that our worth is inherent and not based on external achievements, praise, or acceptance. When we cultivate inner peace, we become less concerned with how others perceive us and more focused on living authentically and in alignment with our true selves. This creates a sense of freedom and empowerment as we are no longer bound by the pressure to conform or seek approval. Part of finding inner peace is learning to detach from the judgments and opinions of others. While feedback and constructive criticism can be valuable, it's important to recognize when we are giving too much weight to what others think of us. Relying too heavily on external validation can cause us to question our own worth or alter our behavior in ways that are not true to who we are. Inner peace comes from trusting ourselves and our own judgment rather than constantly seeking reassurance or validation from others. At times, the pursuit of external validation can be exhausting. It can lead to people-pleasing behavior, where we compromise our own needs and desires in order to gain approval or avoid disapproval. This can cause a disconnect between our true selves and the version of ourselves that we present to the world. Over time, this lack of authenticity can lead to feelings of emptiness or dissatisfaction, as we are not living in a way that honors our own values and desires. Inner peace is the antidote to this, as it allows us to embrace our true selves without fear of judgment or rejection. Inner peace also requires the ability to sit with discomfort and uncertainty. When we seek external validation, we are often looking for certainty, for someone to tell us that we are on the right path. However, life is filled with moments of ambiguity and doubt, and relying on others for constant reassurance can prevent us from developing the resilience and inner strength needed to navigate these challenges. By choosing inner peace, we learn to trust ourselves in the face of uncertainty, knowing that we have the ability to handle whatever comes our way without needing external approval. Another key aspect of inner peace is the ability to let go of comparison. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others, especially with the influence of social media and societal pressures. We may look at someone else's achievements, appearance, or lifestyle and feel inadequate by comparison. This can fuel the desire for external validation as we seek to measure up to these external standards. Inner peace, however, is found in the understanding that everyone's journey is different and that our worth is not determined by how we compare to others. When we stop comparing ourselves and focus on our own path, we free ourselves from the constant need for validation and can appreciate the uniqueness of our own experiences and growth. Choosing inner peace over external validation also fosters healthier relationships. When we are not dependent on others for our sense of self-worth, we can approach relationships from a place of wholeness and authenticity. We are not seeking others to fill a void or validate us, but rather engaging with them as equals, sharing our true selves without fear or pretense. This creates deeper, more meaningful connections based on mutual respect and understanding, rather than the need for approval or acceptance. Inner peace allows us to set boundaries that protect our energy and well-being. When we are not seeking external validation, we become more comfortable saying no to things that don't align with our values or drain our energy. We understand that our worth is not tied to how much we can do for others or how much approval we can gain. By setting boundaries, we create space for ourselves to rest, recharge, and focus on what truly matters to us, rather than constantly striving to meet the expectations of others. But finally, inner peace brings a sense of fulfillment that external validation can never provide. While external validation may bring momentary satisfaction, it is never enough to fill the deeper need for self-acceptance and contentment. Inner peace, on the other hand, offers lasting fulfillment as it is not dependent on external circumstances or the opinions of others. It is a state of being that comes from within, and once cultivated, it becomes a source of strength and resilience in all aspects of life. By choosing inner peace over external validation, we free ourselves from the endless pursuit of approval and the pressure to meet external expectations. We become grounded in our own sense of worth, confident in our abilities, and at ease with who we are. This inner peace allows us to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience, knowing that our sense of self is not tied to what others think of us, but to the deep, unwavering knowledge that we are enough as we are. Healing without confrontation is a process that involves finding inner peace and resolution without directly addressing the person or situation that caused the hurt. It is an approach that prioritizes self-reflection, emotional processing, and personal growth, allowing the healing to come from within rather than relying on external factors. This form of healing recognizes that not every wound requires direct confrontation to heal, and sometimes the best way forward is through acceptance, forgiveness, and letting go. The first step in healing without confrontation is acknowledging the pain. It's important to recognize the emotions you're feeling, whether they are anger, sadness, betrayal, or disappointment, without the need to suppress or deny them. Allowing yourself to fully experience these emotions is crucial to understanding the depth of your hurt. By acknowledging the pain, you are giving yourself permission to grieve, to be vulnerable, and to start the healing process on your own terms. Once you've acknowledged your feelings, self-reflection becomes essential. It involves taking a step back and analyzing the situation from a place of emotional distance. This means asking yourself questions about the circumstances, what triggered the pain. What are the underlying issues? What patterns, if any, contributed to the conflict? This introspective process helps you gain a clearer understanding of both the situation and your own role in it. It's not about blaming yourself or the other party, but about gaining insight into your emotional landscape and how certain events have impacted you. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in healing without confrontation, and it's not always about forgiving the other person, it's about releasing the hold that the pain has over you. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior or pretending that it didn't happen. Instead, it is a conscious decision to let go of the resentment, anger, or bitterness that can keep you stuck in the past. By choosing to forgive, you are freeing yourself from the emotional burden that comes with holding on to unresolved conflict. This act of release allows for emotional clarity and paves the way for inner peace. Boundaries play a significant role in this healing process as well. Sometimes the best way to protect your peace and move forward is by creating emotional distance between yourself and the source of the pain. Setting boundaries doesn't always require confrontation. It can be done silently and without explanation. Whether it means limiting contact, withdrawing from toxic environments, or simply not engaging in certain conversations, boundaries give you the space you need to heal. They help protect your energy and focus on what's best for your well-being. Journaling can be a valuable tool in healing without confrontation. Writing down your thoughts and emotions allows you to process them in a structured way. It provides a safe space for you to express your feelings without fear of judgment or escalation. Journaling can also help you track your emotional journey over time, revealing patterns and offering clarity on how far you've come. This practice of self-expression can be deeply cathartic, allowing you to release pent-up emotions in a constructive and private way. Another important aspect of healing without confrontation is focusing on self-care. This involves nurturing yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally, ensuring that you're giving yourself the time and space to recover. Self-care can take many forms, from engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation to seeking support from trusted friends, family, or professionals. Taking care of yourself allows you to rebuild your strength and resilience, making it easier to move forward without needing closure from the other party. Letting go is an essential part of healing without confrontation. Often we hold on to the desire for justice, an apology, or acknowledgement of the pain caused. However, waiting for these external factors can keep us trapped in a cycle of hurt and frustration. Letting go is about releasing the need for resolution from the outside world and accepting that the healing must come from within. It's a process of surrendering to the reality that some things cannot be changed and choosing to move forward in spite of that. Mindfulness and meditation can also be instrumental in this healing journey. These practices help you stay present, allowing you to focus on the here and now rather than dwelling on past conflicts. Mindfulness encourages you to observe your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them, creating space between your emotions and your identity. Through meditation, you can cultivate a sense of calm and inner balance, helping you detach from the pain and resentment that may be lingering. This mental clarity allows you to move through the healing process with more ease and grace. Sometimes healing without confrontation involves embracing the concept of closure without direct interaction. Closure doesn't always come from a conversation, apology, or reconciliation. It can be found through self-acceptance and understanding that not every conflict needs to be resolved in a traditional sense. By finding closure within yourself, whether through reflection, forgiveness, or simply deciding to move on, you take back control of your emotional journey. This internal closure allows you to move forward without needing anything from the other person. Additionally, healing without confrontation teaches the value of resilience and emotional independence. It fosters a sense of inner strength as you learn to rely on your own capacity to heal rather than seeking external validation or acknowledgement. This independence reinforces the idea that you are capable of finding peace and resolution on your own terms without needing closure from others. It empowers you to reclaim your narrative and choose how you respond to pain rather than being at the mercy of circumstances or other people's actions. Finally, this approach to healing cultivates a deeper sense of empathy and compassion, both for yourself and for others. By not engaging in confrontation, you practice understanding that everyone has their own struggles and reasons for their behavior. This doesn't mean excusing harmful actions, but rather recognizing that healing is a personal journey that doesn't always involve changing others. It allows you to focus on your own growth and healing, knowing that true peace comes from within, not from external resolutions or validation. Letting go of control is one of the most challenging yet liberating aspects of personal growth. It involves releasing the need to dictate outcomes, manage every detail, or influence how situations unfold. It's a shift in mindset that allows for more peace, flexibility, and trust in the flow of life. While the desire for control can stem from a place of wanting stability, safety, or predictability, the truth is that many aspects of life are beyond our control. Learning to let go of that grip can bring a profound sense of relief and open up space for new possibilities and deeper connections. One of the core reasons people hold on to control is the fear of uncertainty. We often feel that if we can just manage every aspect of a situation, we can avoid disappointment, pain, or failure. However, trying to control everything only leads to more stress and anxiety. It keeps us in a constant state of vigilance, always anticipating what might go wrong and how to fix it. Letting go of control means accepting that uncertainty is a part of life, and that not everything can be predicted or prevented. By embracing uncertainty, we learn to adapt and respond to whatever life throws at us with resilience and grace. Letting go of control also involves trusting others. When we try to control everything, we may inadvertently undermine the people around us, assuming that our way is the only way or the best way to handle things. This can strain relationships as it sends the message that we don't trust others to make decisions or handle responsibilities. By letting go, we allow others to step up, make their own choices, and contribute in meaningful ways. Trusting others fosters collaboration, strengthens relationships, and creates a sense of shared responsibility. Trusting ourselves is another key part of letting go. When we feel the need to control, it's often because we doubt our own ability to handle things if they don't go according to plan. Letting go requires confidence in ourselves, believing that no matter what happens, we have the inner strength and resilience to cope. It's about trusting that we can navigate challenges, adapt to change, and find solutions even when things don't turn out the way we expected. This self-trust brings a sense of inner calm as we no longer feel the need to orchestrate every detail to ensure our well-being. Another important aspect of letting go of control is recognizing that we are not responsible for the actions or emotions of others. Often we try to control situations because we want to manage how others will react or feel. This might look like trying to please everyone, avoid conflict, or take on too much responsibility for the happiness of others. Letting go means understanding that we cannot control how others will respond or what they will think of us. Each person is responsible for their own emotions and choices. By releasing this burden, we free ourselves from the pressure of constantly managing others and can focus on our own well-being. Letting go of control also means embracing flexibility. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and the more rigidly we try to control things, the harder it becomes to adapt when things don't go as planned. Flexibility allows us to flow with change, to adjust our approach, and to see new opportunities where we might have only seen obstacles before. It opens us up to creative solutions and new perspectives that we might have missed if we were too focused on keeping everything under control. Releasing control often involves practicing acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity or giving up on our goals, rather. It means recognizing the limits of our influence and making peace with what we cannot change. It's about accepting the present moment as it is without constantly trying to manipulate it to fit our desires. This mindset allows us to stop resisting reality and start working with it. When we accept things as they are, we are better able to respond calmly and constructively rather than wasting energy on fighting what we cannot control. Letting go of control can also enhance our emotional well-being. Constantly trying to control situations can lead to frustration, disappointment, and stress, especially when things don't go as expected. By releasing the need for control, we can reduce anxiety and cultivate a sense of calm. We learn to focus on what we can control: our actions, attitudes, and responses, while letting go of the rest. This shift in focus allows us to experience more peace and joy as we are no longer tied to the outcome of every situation. Another dimension of letting go of control is the ability to be present. When we are fixated on controlling the future or managing every detail, we miss out on the richness of the present moment. Letting go allows us to fully engage with what's happening right now, to enjoy the process rather than being overly concerned with the outcome. Being present also enhances our relationships as we are more available to truly listen, connect, and experience life as it unfolds, rather than being preoccupied with what's next. Letting go of control also nurtures personal growth. It encourages us to embrace vulnerability, acknowledging that we don't have all the answers and can't foresee every outcome. This humility opens the door to learning and growth as we become more open to new ideas, perspectives, and experiences. When we let go of control, we allow ourselves to grow from the unexpected, to discover strengths we didn't know we had, and to develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Ultimately, letting go of control leads to a greater sense of freedom. When we stop trying to control every aspect of our lives, we free ourselves from the weight of constant worry and expectation. We become more open to the flow of life, trusting that we can handle whatever comes our way. This freedom allows us to live more authentically, to follow our intuition, and to embrace the journey rather than being fixated on the destination. Self-compassion is the practice of treating ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and support that we would offer to a friend in times of difficulty. It involves recognizing our shared humanity, acknowledging that suffering and imperfection are universal experiences, and responding to ourselves with care rather than criticism. In a world that often emphasizes achievement and perfection, self-compassion serves as a vital antidote, allowing us to cultivate resilience, emotional well-being, and a more nurturing relationship with ourselves. At its core, self-compassion begins with self-awareness. It requires us to notice our thoughts and feelings without judgment or avoidance. When we encounter pain, whether from failure, loss, or even just a bad day, our instinct may be to push those feelings away or berate ourselves for experiencing them. However, by cultivating self-awareness, we can recognize when we are being overly critical or harsh. This awareness opens the door to responding to ourselves with empathy instead of self-judgment. It allows us to understand that it's okay to feel hurt and that these feelings do not diminish our worth. A significant aspect of self-compassion is understanding our shared humanity. We often isolate ourselves in our suffering, believing that our struggles make us different or unworthy. However, recognizing that everyone experiences hardship and imperfection can foster a sense of connection. We are not alone in our feeling. Suffering is a universal part of the human experience. This realization helps to soften the blow of difficult emotions, reminding us that it's okay to be flawed and that we are all in this together. Self-kindness is a crucial component of self-compassion. Instead of resorting to harsh self-talk or criticism when we make mistakes or face challenges, self-kindness encourages us to treat ourselves gently. This might mean offering words of encouragement, allowing ourselves to rest when we need it, or engaging in activities that nurture our well-being. Practicing self-kindness means prioritizing our needs and emotions, recognizing that we deserve the same care and understanding we readily extend to others. It is an invitation to pause, breathe, and respond to ourselves with love rather than judgment. In moments of failure or disappointment, self-compassion allows us to reframe our experiences. Instead of viewing setbacks as a reflection of our worth, we can see them as opportunities for growth and learning. This shift in perspective is empowering. It helps us understand that failure is not a final destination, but a stepping stone on the path to personal development. Self-compassion encourages us to embrace our mistakes as part of the journey, allowing us to grow stronger and more resilient through adversity. Furthermore, self-compassion enhances emotional resilience. When we practice self-compassion, we build a buffer against negative emotions and self-doubt. Instead of being overwhelmed by our feelings, we learn to navigate them with grace and understanding. This emotional resilience means that when life gets tough, we have the tools to support ourselves and bounce back more quickly. It fosters a mindset that sees challenges as manageable rather than insurmountable, enabling us to face difficulties with a greater sense of hope and confidence. Self-compassion also plays a significant role in our relationships with others. When we are kind and understanding toward ourselves, we are more likely to extend that same compassion to those around us. Our capacity for empathy increases, allowing us to connect with others on a deeper level. This interconnectedness fosters a supportive community as we recognize that everyone is fighting their own battles. By cultivating self-compassion, we create a ripple effect that encourages kindness and understanding in our interactions with others. Another vital aspect of self-compassion is its ability to counteract negative self-talk. Many of us have internalized critical voices that undermine our confidence and self-worth. Practicing self-compassion allows us to challenge these negative narratives, replacing them with affirming and nurturing thoughts. It's about becoming our own best advocates, speaking to ourselves in a way that uplifts rather than diminishes. This shift in internal dialogue can lead to profound changes in how we perceive ourselves and our abilities. Additionally, self-compassion encourages mindfulness. It requires us to be present with our thoughts and feelings without judgment or avoidance. This mindfulness allows us to acknowledge our pain without becoming consumed by it. By practicing mindfulness, we can observe our emotions with curiosity and acceptance, creating space for healing. It enables us to step back from our experiences, gaining clarity and perspective that can aid in our journey towards self-acceptance. Self-compassion can also be transformative in our pursuit of goals and aspirations. Rather than viewing ourselves through a lens of perfectionism, we learn to appreciate the process of growth. Self-compassion reminds us that setbacks are not indicators of failure but integral parts of our journey. This perspective fosters a healthier relationship with achievement, encouraging us to pursue our passions with enthusiasm rather than fear of failure. It allows us to celebrate our progress no matter how small and to honor our efforts without being overly critical. In moments of stress or anxiety, self-compassion can serve as a grounding force. When we face overwhelming emotions, offering ourselves compassion can help to calm our nervous system and create a sense of safety. It allows us to respond to our feelings with gentleness, reminding us that it's okay to feel what we're feeling. This compassionate response can reduce feelings of isolation and help us reconnect with our inner strength. Ultimately, self-compassion is about cultivating a relationship with ourselves that is rooted in love, understanding, and acceptance. It's a practice that allows us to embrace our humanity, acknowledge our struggles, and honor our journey. By fostering self-compassion, we create a nurturing inner environment where healing can flourish. This practice not only enriches our own lives, but also enhances our ability to contribute positively to the lives of others, creating a more compassionate world. Transformation through departure is a profound concept that highlights the significant changes and growth that can arise from the act of leaving behind familiar situations, relationships, or environments. This departure, whether physical, emotional, or metaphorical, often serves as a catalyst for personal evolution, pushing individuals to step outside their comfort zones and confront new realities. The decision to depart can be daunting, filled with uncertainty and fear, yet it also opens the door to new opportunities and experiences that can lead to meaningful transformation. When we choose to depart from a situation or relationship that no longer serves us, we create space for self-discovery. This process often begins with a sense of dissatisfaction or unease that signals the need for change. Recognizing this feeling is the first step toward transformation, as it prompts us to reflect on what we truly want and need in our lives. Departure acts as a bold statement of intent, signaling our desire for growth and a deeper understanding of ourselves. It encourages us to evaluate our values, aspirations, and boundaries, ultimately leading to a clearer sense of identity. The act of leaving can also propel us into the unknown, a space filled with both fear and excitement. This uncertainty often forces us to confront our insecurities and doubts, pushing us to develop resilience and adaptability. In stepping away from the familiar, we are challenged to rely on our instincts and resourcefulness, which can lead to newfound strengths and capabilities. The journey through the unknown may be uncomfortable, but it is within this discomfort that significant personal growth occurs. Each challenge faced along the way becomes a lesson, helping us to build confidence and a sense of empowerment. Transformation through departure also often involves letting go of old narratives and beliefs that no longer serve us. We may find ourselves shedding layers of identity that were shaped by external expectations or past experiences. This process of release is not always easy. It requires vulnerability and honesty with ourselves about what we've outgrown. As we detach from these limiting beliefs, we create room for new perspectives and possibilities. This newfound clarity allows us to redefine our goals and desires, aligning them more closely with our authentic selves. Furthermore, leaving behind familiar surroundings or relationships can catalyze a profound sense of liberation. It allows us to break free from patterns that may have held us back or stifled our growth. This sense of freedom can be exhilarating, providing an opportunity to explore new passions, interests, and connections. In this expansive space, we can experiment with different aspects of our identity and discover facets of ourselves that may have been dormant or neglected. The experience of transformation becomes an empowering journey of self-exploration and self-actualization. Departure also often leads to the formation of new connections and communities. As we step away from old environments, we find ourselves in new social landscapes where we can forge relationships that align more closely with our evolving values and interests. These new connections can be incredibly enriching, providing support, inspiration, and encouragement as we navigate our transformation. Building a new community also reinforces our sense of belonging and acceptance, reminding us that we are not alone in our journey. In the context of personal relationships, transformation through departure can lead to healthier dynamics. When we recognize that certain relationships are toxic or unfulfilling, the decision to leave can create space for healthier connections. This departure allows us to prioritize our well-being and set boundaries that honor our needs. As we cultivate self-respect and self-love, we attract relationships that reflect this newfound sense of worth, leading to deeper, more fulfilling connections. Moreover, transformation through departure often fosters a deeper appreciation for the present moment. When we let go of what no longer serves us, we become more attuned to the possibilities of the here and now. This mindfulness allows us to engage more fully with our experiences, savoring each moment and recognizing the beauty in our journey. As we learn to embrace the present, we cultivate gratitude for the lessons learned and the growth achieved, creating a more positive outlook on life. As we embark on this journey of transformation, it's essential to recognize that departure does not signify abandonment or loss. Rather, it represents a conscious choice to honor our needs and desires. Each departure is an act of self-affirmation, a declaration that we are worthy of a life that aligns with our true selves. This transformative process may involve discomfort and fear, but it ultimately leads to a richer, more authentic existence. Additionally, transformation through departure can inspire others. By sharing our stories of leaving behind the familiar to embrace the unknown, we encourage others to consider their own paths of transformation. Our journeys can serve as beacons of hope, showing that it is possible to create change and embrace new beginnings. This collective journey toward transformation fosters a culture of courage and resilience, encouraging individuals to take risks and pursue their passions. In essence, transformation through departure is a powerful testament to the potential for growth and change inherent in each of us. It reminds us that stepping away from the familiar can lead to a deeper understanding of ourselves, our values, and our place in the world. By embracing the journey of departure, we open ourselves to a world of possibilities and pave the way for meaningful transformation that can enrich not only our lives, but the lives of those around us. In conclusion, transformation through departure is not merely an act of leaving, it is a courageous step towards self-discovery, growth, and renewal. As we navigate the complexities of change, we learn that each departure carries with it the potential for profound transformation. It empowers us to shed the layers that no longer serve us, embrace our authentic selves, and cultivate deeper connections with others. While the journey may be filled with uncertainty, it also opens doors to new possibilities and opportunities that enrich our lives. Let us remember that every departure is a declaration of our worth and a commitment to living fully and authentically. So as you stand at the threshold of change, take that leap. Embrace the journey ahead, knowing that transformation awaits on the other side. Together, let us celebrate the beauty of stepping into the unknown and the incredible growth that comes from allowing ourselves to depart from the familiar.